So, are you ready?
I am absolutely ready, man.
Welcome to the St. Michael Podcast. Welcome to episode six of the St. Michael Podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. Today we have a very, very special guest, a very dear person to me, because I've seen this person from adolescence to manhood to adulthood to family. And then he's behind one of the biggest, baddest seasoning and sauce companies that I've ever seen. I can't even live without having a little chipotle honey on my chicken. He's that good. I want to give a big round of applause to a great friend of mine, business owner of Addy Seasoning, Adeola Ogundipe.
Thank you, man. For having me, man.
There's no one here clapping. Kind of. Yeah. Let's get the clap going. So, y'all know who I am. If you've already been listening, you kind of know what, like, my background, but you don't really know who this gentleman is. And I want you to give, like, me and anybody else who might not really kind of get the whole picture together, like a brief background of you.
Shoot.
Where were you born? That's the first one.
Nigeria.
How long were you there? How long were you in Nigeria?
Until I was 9.
Do you remember Nigeria like that?
No.
Oh, damn.
Not really.
Do you miss it though?
Yeah. I think this is always going to be a part of me.
So you were born in Nigeria, and then what time when you moved out here when you were 9?
Yeah, 96.
Where would you move to?
Irving, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, but Crooked Eye.
And how was that? How was that transition from going from like Nigeria for 9 years of your entire life to just fresh here, brand new?
It wasn't too tough. I think the first year was a little weird though. Mm-hmm. Like where we lived, they didn't have a lot of kids, so I only saw kids like in elementary school. And then after I got home, it was just like me and my brother and my little sister playing. And then a year later, I moved into another neighborhood, tons of kids. Wow. And that was like a shock to me.
So did your whole entire family, y'all all moved here, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's break that down. So you're where in your family as far as?
I have 3 older sisters.
Then I
start the next set of 3.
Wow. Yeah. So you have a family of how many?
A total of 6 of us.
Wow. So it's a full house.
Full house.
Wow. And so after that, so you've always, like you're born and raised in Nigeria until 9, then you came here. Mm-hmm. And then from there, what kind of led you into, like, what did you learn going from middle school, high school, college, being like new here? Like,
man, not too much, just because of my personality. I get along with just almost everybody. Mm-hmm. So it just made it easier for me to blend versus, just being an outsider guy that's African booty scratcher guy.
African booty scratcher.
Man, that happened. I used to be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, God, damn. Then all of a sudden, man, you get to college and, that's typically when you actually become yourself.
We went to the same college, by the way. We went to Lamar University.
LU?
Yeah, that was it's a great experience. One of the best experiences ever. Yeah, you went to Lamar University. I didn't want to cut you off. You want to finish on that?
Man, just keep going.
Okay, yeah. So we went to Lamar University, and what'd you graduate with?
Finance degree.
And do you use that now?
Yes.
And what do you think about that?
It's great.
You love the finance world?
I love numbers.
Oh. So yeah, that brings us to, I think that's a good enough catch up, because what I really want to talk about is I want to understand the business behind like Addy Seasonings. Like what made you, like what sparked the interest in you starting like not only a seasoning brand, but like something else on the side? Because since college, you've been strict into 9 to 5, right? Like working your 9 to 5. And then something sparked in you to say, let me do something different, right?
Yes.
Okay, what was that? Like,
Man, watching how old was he? Probably like a 65-year-old guy get let go, and just kind of understanding that everything has a time, right? And you have to control your time as best as you possibly can.
So when that person got let go, you felt what? You felt like there's no guarantee in what you're doing.
No guarantee. I'm not in control of what happens to my family.
Wow.
That's what I felt.
And when did you feel that? When, like, how long were you into the whole finance world and all that before you felt that?
About 3 years ago.
Oh, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then, when it comes to food and like when you think about seasonings and all that, okay, you went the seasoning route.
Yeah.
What, like, why didn't you go into catering? You see what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you go into trying to be a chef or what made you choose this?
Well, two things, right? You know, being in a Nigerian family, you can't do the same thing somebody else does. So my sister's already a chef, so that was taken. And I've been cooking since I was like 12, so just having that background was like great. And then coupled with, you know, people going to the doctor like in 2012, and they're like, you got high blood pressure. I'm like, what? How can I have that? I'm hitting the gym all the time. You know what I mean? Eating right. For the most part.
You didn't feel any type of anything before you went to the doctor? You just kind of went one day and then
just regular checkup.
Oh wow!
And then they're like, "We need to monitor this," and I'm like, "Oh, you know how that is."
There's a pastor. For like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, he was preaching and just preaching with everybody. Then all of a sudden, during his like sermon, he sat down to kind of like rest a little bit. He passed out and died like right in front of everybody.
Whoa.
And they found out that he had diabetes and high blood pressure, and he never knew.
What?
Yeah, he never even knew. He was screaming, yeah, doing all, bunch of energy. Then next you know, he passes out, and people thought it was part of like his sermon.
Yeah.
And then next you know, like he lays on the floor like after he passes out, and then people are like still thinking it's part of his thing, screaming like, man, and not knowing, because he didn't look like he was unhealthy, but not knowing your health like that, it could be a serious danger.
Oh, easily.
So okay, you went to the doctor and they mentioned about your high blood pressure, and then you felt, okay, I need to kind of change up my lifestyle.
I was using Tony's.
Tony Cesseries?
Oh, yeah.
That's how you say it? Tony Cesseries? Cesseries? What is it?
I don't know. I may be even pronouncing it wrong. I just know it's Tony on there, green and white.
Yeah.
He picked it up from, Lamar days, you know what I mean? Because when we got on there, I didn't even know what boudin was.
Bro, first week at Lamar University. So when I went in, it was like, hey, we're going to go up the street, we're going to get some boudin. I said, what's boudin? When he was like, what the fuck you told me you don't know what motherfucking boudin is? Nigga, I was raised off motherfucking boudin. I was like, bro, this is serious. Bro, I felt like I was just so fresh new to what everything. I didn't even know what a crawfish boil was.
No, Zumos though?
Yeah, bro. Man. Zumo sausage. If it ain't Zumo, it's not real sausage. Just letting y'all know.
They need to
no ad. For this. Low key. Okay, so get back to it. You didn't know what boudin was.
Didn't know what any of that stuff was. So some of the southern cooking, I actually kind of picked a lot of that up from Beaumont area and stuff like that, and just kind of just going out. Richard's Cafe.
Bro, man. Yeah, Richard's Cafe. So Beaumont's a little bit outside of Houston, Texas. And, it was like perfect because we're close to Houston, far enough from Dallas to where we could be completely independent, but still, because, Houston's big on food. Oh. And in Beaumont's low key kind of the same thing, but just on the outskirts. It's almost like its own island. And I learned a lot about Southern cooking from Beaumont. Sure. I didn't know anything really about sweet potatoes. What is those? Candied yams. I didn't know anything like that. My parents never cooked that.
Dre's aunt.
Yeah. So you learn about those Southern cooking. Those Southern dishes.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, is that what kind of led you into like, let me provide a seasoning for it or what?
No, it was me actually like trying out all the different ones, right? So I took myself off of like the Zatarans, all that, salty stuff, and started using Mrs. Dash. And man, I used a whole bottle, and I'm like, man, I can't even eat this. It doesn't taste the same, right? So then, right before Bree and I got married, Bree's my wife, she was like, yeah, we're not cooking with Mrs. Dash. And I'm like, all right, I got to find an alternative. So I went to Weber's, but some of the blends were a little salty for me and just, it was missing something. So after fast forward to like 2016, I wanted to smoke a turkey. So I went to Walmart, just bought a whole bunch of, different seasons that I want in it, put the blend together in a recipe, man, smoked the turkey, flew off. Right?
Wow.
Family was like, man, we're not ever eating a oven turkey ever again. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta do this every year now.
So so you put the seasonings and everything together specifically for this.
Blend.
Yeah, okay.
Just for this one, right? And as soon as I did that, I was like, oh shoot, they loved it. Like, man, let me order bulk and just like pass it out or whatever, right? Yeah. And then once I got it in, I looked at the cayenne. I was like, is this cayenne? This smells like it's orange. When I get in the store, it's like red, right? I put it together anyway. And then once I got done, everything tasted horrible. It was fresh, but it just didn't match up because it was super hot. And I was like, God, dog, this cayenne is fire.
Too hot to where you couldn't really enjoy it.
You couldn't enjoy it at all. So it just had me questioning some of the things that we've been buying off the shelf. And one of the things about what I try to do is I'm so big now on preservatives, right? Because you hear so many times about cancer, right?
Yeah.
It's huge now.
Yeah.
But we're not paying attention to what we're actually putting in, right? And the only thing we can control is the food that we cook. So like that was my gateway of just saying, hey, I want to make something for people to be able to control what they're putting into their bodies.
Yeah, I see that. And so, okay, at that point, it's not even a business yet.
No.
It's just kind of like a low-key, like, inspired hustle, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so what turned it into that? Because did you come with the name first of Addy Daddies, or did you just package it and how did that happen?
Well, my wife and I started talking about it. And it was just like, that dude got laid off, and I'm just like, you know what? I actually like doing this. It's like fun.
Yeah.
Like I can do this all day and not trip.
Yeah.
Rather than not say, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta do this. And for me, within that, just growing, I found that whatever you love to do, that you can feel that way and just be excited to go do, brings you the most joy you can possibly have. And it's not just the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that feeling was like, oh yeah, let me do this.
Did it feel better having, because your wife is really big into your brand.
Oh yeah.
Did it feel good having that support?
Absolutely.
Because I said in my last episode about women coming to me saying like, what does your wife think about you doing comedy? But she acted in like a downwards way, like I know she's gonna trip. I'm like, she's filming it, like she's my number one supporter. You know what I mean? So in your case, having her like be for it, like you know what I mean, like not only is she for it, but she thinks that the lifestyle change and you doing it is more important than, it's like a bigger picture type thing, right?
Oh yeah, she was. I'm lucky. That's what I threw it out there, and she was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I'm like, "You sure?" So we just started savings. And what was so funny about it was like before I started doing like the research, I'm like, how much does it cost to start a seasoning company? And Houston Chronicle pops up with an article, and I'm reading. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. It was like $3,600.
$36.
Bro. I think it's $36 if you want to go to a farmer's market.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just kind of just come out and just slap a label on something. I think that's possible. But my wife's just like, I said, hey, let's just go and do this. And she's like, wait, pump the brakes. Like, we got to make sure it's like legit. I said, all right. So I hit Cosmo up. I said, hey, I need a logo, bro. It's like, all right. What do you kind of want it to look like? Him and I went back and forth,
But before you got to the logo part, you chose a name.
Oh, the name.
Okay, so what inspired the name, or how'd you come up with it, and what were like some of your other choices? How'd you narrow it down?
Man, it was kind of tough because I had help, coming up with the name. Of course, Addy's what everybody's called me since like I moved here, because Adeola was too hard to pronounce when we were kids. So it was like, we're just gonna call you Addy. I said, all right.
It's a great, easy, catchy name.
So then, of course, we get to college, everybody's calling me Addy, and then we get Obi, Addy Daddy, and I'm just like, all right, that's kind of cool. So we all went out. You remember that night with Ike.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there, and I'm like, man, I had to think of what to call this business. Start throwing it out, different waitresses, and Ice like, let's just go with what we already know. Addy Daddy, let's go with it.
Yeah.
But when I'm telling other people, I'm just like, oh, my name's Addy, and I'm a daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just makes it so much easier than a long explanation, right? But ultimately that's how we came up with the name. It was like catchy, and then once Cosmo put the
Hold on, what was one? Yeah, you remember one of the other names?
No, bro.
You don't remember any of them?
No.
Bro, I don't even remember the other names. Yeah, bro, I'm the same way. I thought people just remember like I had this, I had that. I don't remember any of the names. I was trying to either choose for any of the businesses.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I thought it was just me because I was like, man, what was it? But I just remember everybody was just saying like, nah, let's just stick with Addy Daddy. And we're like,
that's what sticks
right,
though. That name. Not only does it flow, but it's like a sticky name. You know what I mean? Something once you say, because there's no such thing as Addy Daddy.
Well,
you know what I mean? I'm saying like, once you tell somebody Addy Daddy's, you're not gonna go somewhere else in life and say, oh, I heard this before in another space. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that name to yourself.
Oh yeah, and then I definitely have to research that for that trademark.
Yeah,
'cause I was like, man, I hope nobody asked this. And I was going spending so much time. I mean, remember me calling you like, hey, what website do I need to go to?
Yeah.
And that's just amazing to me. You know what I mean? To be able to go do.
So you're talking about my brother and
So
logo.
him and I were like, all right, what kind of logo do we kind of want? And we just went back and forth, and he put like 4 different ones. Then I sent polls out and got different people to vote on it because all of them were fire. You know what I mean? And you look at it now, whenever I'm doing these different events, and people just kind of just stop and just look at the logo. Addy Daddy. Oh. That's my pitch. Hey, come on up.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about it. You know what I mean?
So automatically, just due to the logo and due to the branding of how the logo is, that already starts a combo.
Oh, easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Wow. And so what happens? So when they see it and it starts a combo, what's the follow up?
My thing is, I just say hello right then and there because now we've made that eye connection. Then I can tell you a little bit about it because they're already looking at all the stuff that I have in there. No fillers. We don't put any kind of chemicals into our products like that. You know what I mean? If it's herbs and sea salt, that's what you get. You know what I mean? So they just started looking at it like, oh wow, that's interesting. Tell me a little bit about this, and then I just tell them a little bit more about the product. Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about trademarking. How was that important to you
Very
at the beginning?
Important.
Why?
You have to. Intellectual property is huge.
Yeah, IP, intellectual property, is so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to help continue explaining.
So you can have a great product and have it out there and just, I'm doing this and doing that with it. If it's not trademarked, somebody else will take it and run with what you've already built.
Which has happened, many a times.
Many a times.
So before you want to market it out and put it out, you want to secure a trademark.
Yes.
And you went to USPTO.
Yep.
You did it yourself.
Yep.
And how long was that process and what did it cost you?
It wasn't that long. $300.
$300. So $300 you paid, did the process on your own. Okay.
So I did the LLC.
Okay.
As the S corp.
You did that first.
I did that first.
Okay.
And then once I got that, it came with a package of, I think I paid like $69, and they kind of set all the stuff up and said, "Hey, what do you want?" And I'm like, "Hey, Daddy Seasonings and Sauces." Boom, I need that trademarked. Pushed me over to the guys that do the trademark, and they just set everything up for me.
Oh wow! And when you did secure the trademark?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I got the Texas Blaze too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's proprietary to you. That's yours. And that right there is a lot of value. Yeah. So when did you get it in the mail?
Oh yeah, you got the stuff.
And so from when you started to when you got it, how long was that?
It took a little while because they got to put it out there, make sure like nobody else has it or somebody protests it and stuff like that, and then you end up getting it.
So you also mentioned about you're an S corp, right?
Yes.
So they have LLC, limited liability company. They have LLP if you have a limited liability partnership. They have C corporation if you're like a corporate structure, and they have S corporation, which is somewhat between LLC and C corp. What made you choose S corp? Taxes.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's important.
Yeah. Why? Look, I have an S corp. both, the barber school and the Waterboys car washes, they're both S corp. Okay. And the reason I chose S corp is because the CPA told me, and I did later research, is that you're in essence like partnered with your business. So the tax deduction is much greater than if you're an LLC. Because LLCs you looked at more as like a sole proprietor. It's just you. So basically, like, you're getting taxed and then your business gets taxed. Yep. But when you're an S corp, it's almost like you're partnered. Like, if I partner with Addy, and Addy in essence will be the S corp, so they'll tax Addy differently than how they tax me. So in an S corp, they tax you. I guess you win a little bit more in taxes because they look at your business as a partner. And then on top of that, I think there's also some stipulations when it comes to like how much money you have to have in the account and things like that, or something like that, right?
Man, I don't even remember.
It's hard to even, but so you chose.
Here's another thing. Too.
Yeah.
Although I've done accounting and finance, I also have a CPA.
Oh, wow.
Straight up.
You do?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you pulled that off.
Yeah, man.
That's hard.
Well, I think the key is I already know how to understand the numbers. And one of the things that I'm learning is like time is like super valuable and you can't do everything.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm still even learning that, and we're getting ready to be in like year 2. And this year I'm just like, you can't do it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you want to continue to grow the business, but some of that stuff you just have to like start pushing off
and delegate.
Yeah.
So, when you said that, you're also CPA. So, okay, since you deal with numbers, I feel like there's 2 different type of people. Yeah. There's technical minded, and there's creative minded, right? And I feel like accounting, IT, that's more technical.
Yeah.
Engineering as well. Creative, as you know, going to the arts and things like that. Get into starting like Addy Daddy's. Like, was there a learning curve, a transition from like, you know what I mean?
Not really. Since I wasn't all the way accounting. I did accounting for a while, then I transitioned over into just finance, right?
Okay.
So finance is, you can get creative with it, right? So you kind of build a little bit of that muscle, and you understand business just in a different aspect of like actual growth. While accounting, you have the same structure, you do the same things, and you have to play by the rules every single step of the way, right? But with finance,
so finance is a little bit more flexible. So that kind of gets you a little bit more like into the creative side.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Formulas wise, and is that kind of like?
Yeah, I do the formulas, but at the same time, we're telling stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the numbers. So instead of just saying, this is the number, you're telling what happened with the number, how we got
So
to
that's
the number.
finance, like
that's
making
finance.
it make sense to people.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, back to that. So there was no like real like learning curve. So based on you going into this, how many flavors did you, how many seasonings did you start with? One seasoning.
One.
Which is that one?
The Cajun salt.
Let me see.
Right there.
Okay.
And that's the one I use for the smoked turkey.
Not sure if y'all could see it, but this is it right here. I'll probably throw something up so y'all can see it. So this is your first seasoning.
First one. Yep.
So you started with one.
Started with one.
Okay, why didn't you go for 5 off top? What made you start with just,
just that one? That was what I knew.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you're saying, hey, I want to start a business. Well, I can't just sell one product because not everybody's going to like that Cajun one.
Yeah.
Off top. So it's like, all right, how can I get a couple different ones but not have too many at the same time?
Yeah.
Right? Because I think once you, like, I have a whole bunch that I can just throw out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do justice throwing all that out. You have to be able to understand, like, you can have 5 and those 5 will sell really, really well. And the ones that don't, you pull back off and then you insert another one.
So that's like the process.
That's the process.
So when you had your first one, the Cajun Soul, and then how long before you said, let me introduce another one?
Once we really decided like to really kick it off, I started thinking about different ones that I wanted and started just kind of experimenting and playing with different like levels of different herbs and getting the right flavors out of it.
So a lot of experimenting.
A lot of experimenting.
So let's put a timeline on this. When you came out with, when you started Addy Daddy's, from when you started that, when was that?
2016.
2016.
Was when I smoked the turkey.
Okay, and then from when you dropping Cajun Soul, your first seasoning, when was that?
Well, I dropped 4.
Whoa.
To start out with.
Okay. So your Cajun Soul was your first one, though. What from the moment that you kind of thought about the
Actually,
idea?
I take that back.
What?
5.
Okay, so for the moment you thought about the idea with
Mm-hmm.
the with the turkey, smoking the turkey, to you dropping your first one, the Cajun Soul. What was that? How long between that?
Man, 2018.
Wow,
So from
2 years.
16 to 2018.
Wow, just to make sure you're right. You were in no rush.
No. Well, I kind of was.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then my wife kind of reels me back in, like, no, let's just do this right. You know what I mean? And I think that's the key.
What does that mean, doing it right?
So when we think about it, we think about opportunities that can arise at any moment, right? Now, am I prepared for those opportunities? And I think at times we're so in a rush for trying to get our product out that we miss that step of, what if I drop this and the buyer's like, I need 20,000. What am I going to do? Is it going to be ready to get on the shelf? Does it have a barcode on it to put in the store? You're missing a whole lot of that stuff, and you end up having to work so much harder later on than just kind of taking a step back and making sure that you're comfortable with what you're kind of putting out.
So you're trying to like avoid double work by preparing yourself.
Exactly.
But there's a way to over prepare though, right?
There is.
So you could have this could have still been an idea for you right now.
Yeah.
But there's what made you say, fine, let's start.
When the guy got laid off.
So you saw it and said, okay, I can't be. Like,
I can't waste time. So it's like, let me get this going. And then, to really be honest, I think the one thing that like drives me with the seasons and like the sauces, other than I just love food and wanting people to enjoy food and not feel guilty.
Yeah,
it's like what drives me with this stuff.
So so the whole focus of it is a healthy alternative that tastes good.
Exactly.
So that's where you're trying to focus in, right? So then you drop your Cajun Soul, and then after that you have a total of 5 seasonings right now, right?
Well, a little bit more than that. So I got another one coming too.
Man, you got another one coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be fire.
So right now, what are your seasonings?
So I got the everything seasoning.
Okay.
I have the steak burgers and fries seasoning.
SPF steak burgers and fries. Okay.
Cajun Soul, honey chipotle,
my favorite.
and then I have my taco season as well. And then the jalapeno ranch I just dropped.
How's that been doing?
The jalapeno ranch?
Yeah.
Off the chain.
Amazing.
Straight up.
Why is it that? Tell me, like what, man? Like
my bad.
No. Like,
well, go ahead.
I'm more excited about, you dropped something new like that one. The jalapeno ranch just came out how long ago?
I had it in a sample pack, but people kept asking me for the bottles.
Yeah.
Right. So like, when you get that bottle, I want to order 4 of them because I don't want nobody else to have them. I'm like, dang, for real?
Yeah. So there's like already a demand, low key.
It was a demand, low key for it. So it was like, okay, maybe I can do something here, right? So the honey chipotle is so good. So I'm like, all right, we're just gonna bottle this up and see how it does. And we just had Zest like last week. Oh, I love this on this Chex Mix. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And they were just buying it, man.
So, wow. So basically, some things came out of nowhere with the success. You know what I mean? Like you didn't know some things. So did you have any like duds that like things you tried that just didn't work?
Lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper didn't work. Didn't work very
well. It didn't match the brand.
Oh, okay.
And like I was like literally pretty much done because every black person's like, you gotta get that lemon pepper. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it for you, man. So started working on it, and then just that citric acid. I'm just like, we already got a lot of acidic stuff going into our bodies. And if I'm preaching that, I want you to have a balanced life. You know what I mean? Like I don't believe in diets.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they work. Like I think the lifestyle that you end up choosing and just being moderate about everything. Like I'll eat nacho cheese. You know what I mean? But eating nacho cheese every single day or a burger every single day, that's just not great for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've got to create that balance within our lifestyles and just introduce a lot more veggies in there. You know what I mean? So like my way of even getting my kids to eat veggies is like, I got to throw this stuff on there.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So the one that you took out of the mix was lemon pepper. So that wasn't really working out.
Yeah.
So then what inspires you to bring in hot sauce? Cause that's my second favorite. Like I'm telling you, like this is no gas. This is not me trying to like sell his stuff. The best hot sauce. To me, it stands up with like Louisiana, without all the extra, it's like I would say it's a really nice exclusive flavor. It's like an acquired taste, and I think it's such an incredible. What transitioned you into say, okay, let me bring in a hot sauce?
So I'm sure you remember when I did the dinner at my house, and like we were just sampling a whole bunch of different like, varieties and taking pictures and stuff like that, right? And we started talking about the whole hot sauce thing, and I was like, oh man, I thought about doing that. You're like, you should. And I'm like, oh, all right. Like 2 weekends later, we ended up going to Houston, and then I ordered a po' boy, and I was like, hey, you got some hot sauce? And I was like an avid Crystals hot sauce guy, right? And he goes to the back to go get it, and I tried the shrimp like right before, and as soon as as soon as he brings it back, I put the hot sauce on the po' boy, and I was like, and I took a bite, and I was like, I just tasted nothing but vinegar, and I just got upset, and I was like, you know what, I'm making my own hot sauce. So I went back home and just started experimenting with the right blend and doing some research and stuff like that.
Man.
And just found how to really bring flavor out of it without taking away from what somebody slaved over. Because the one thing that I've heard is like, my mother-in-law, she's like, yeah, Robert, you should just put hot sauce in his food before tasting my food. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to make that mistake with anybody else's spouse or whatever. So it's like, I want you to be able to enjoy what somebody cooked, but just add that little heat and then, just additional flavor to it.
Well, how many iterations did you have to go through to create it?
Man, funny story. So I went to the store and was just buying what I thought was red jalapeno.
Yeah.
It was Fresno peppers, bro.
Fresno peppers. So what's the difference? What's the difference?
It looks the same, but the heat level's a little different, and the flavor profile of it is slightly different.
Yeah.
So I made this great sauce, and I'm like, oh, Fresno peppers. And I started looking at it. I'm like, it costs how much to get that? Oh no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't beneficial just because it wasn't readily accessible to get the Fresno peppers. So it was like, well, I thought it was red jalapeno the entire time. So then I ended up getting true red jalapenos and just kind of working through that.
So,
but it is a process with every single thing that I do.
Is it consistent to are you able to make it consistently now?
Yeah.
And
I bought a machine
to do it?
No. I can pump out a whole lot more than I could before.
So where do you do all this? You don't do it in your living room, right?
No, I'm at a commercial kitchen.
So let's talk about that. So did you didn't start a commercial kitchen. So what made you go and seek out that? Was it that things were just too much in your house?
No. It's a law. I can't literally make the stuff at my house.
Okay.
I have to go to a commercial kitchen and make everything there.
How much does that cost?
You pay a membership and then there's a hourly fee.
Okay, so it's basically just you kind of like almost like renting a booth.
Pretty much.
Is that expensive? What does that cost?
Depending on how much time it takes.
Give me a roundabout.
I mean, if I needed any, but I was spending hours there though.
Yeah.
So those bill kind of racks up when you're spending that much time in there. Just even doing prepping for the hot sauce, easily 7 hours, right?
Yeah.
Of just trying to get a small batch done. And you cutting up all the different peppers, carrots, all those type of things, right? But I said, there's got to be an easier way to do this, right? Or speed up the time, especially filling it. I needed to speed up the time. So I ended up buying a machine, man.
So all those things, the cost got so heavy in a way that you said, let me make this a little bit more efficient.
Yes.
Okay.
And, at the same time, when I talk about opportunities arising, so I had a meeting with Total Wine, right?
Okay.
And, I'm pitching the hot sauce. I'm like, hey, you know what? You can make it, put in Bloody Marys, you know what I mean? And just different types of drinks. Micheladas, I think that's what it is. The beer, it's like a beer, but it's like a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. James was like, man, that mug was good. I was like, oh, now I got to try it.
Yeah.
You learn so many interesting things with how people actually use your products, and you think about it a certain way, and then somebody else comes a different way, and you're like, oh, never thought about that.
Yeah.
I never thought about putting jalapeno ranch on deer meat.
Yeah.
Somebody did it, and I'm like,
oh, so the way that people experience your product
exactly
inspire, it could create new avenues for you.
Definitely.
Okay. So that's where that whole Total Wine and Spirits.
Yeah. So the Total Wine, the guy, he's talking to me, and then he's like, yeah. And I'm thinking, I just want to, service the DFW area and just stock, their shelves. And he's like, yeah, you can do all of Texas, right? I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, Texas? It takes me like forever to fill those bottles.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do it. So I'm like, yeah, we could do it. You know how you get,
I already know.
You don't say no.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we'll find a way.
Because you don't know when the opportunity is going to come again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll sit there and find a way. If I got to fill it all night and not go to sleep, I just got to do it for that,
gotta make it happen.
time until I can find a solution to it, right? So I'm like, I get in the car, I drive back to work. I was on my lunch break. So I drive back to work and I'm like, God, damn. Come on. I say, hey man, we gotta find some, we gotta find a solution. If this thing shakes, we can't spend all day filling hot sauce bottles. Yeah. So she's like, all right, just look into what you got to do. So I start trying to find machines. And what's so cool about like actually doing like stuff like Zest Fest? Yeah. You meet so many different people that are already doing the same things, and they actually share tips with you.
So tell me before what is Zest Fest?
Zest Fest is like where like a bunch of vendors come. They have hot sauces, spicy foods, from jerky to pickles, sweet and spicy pickles, cheesecake. Yeah, bro. So it's just a ton of different people from all around the country that'll come up, and then they have like it's actually one of like the three. So there's another one in Albuquerque, and even from this last one, like guys are giving me tips left and right, like, hey, you need to come. You need to come meet these people, and I'll introduce you. Yeah. And it's just like some of those things that, unfortunately, I don't think we get a lot of in our community. And these are just people that, non-black people, giving me just like free game. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, man, yeah, this is what we do. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, why don't we do a lot more of that? Like, why do we feel like this is our market? I got to corner it. Yeah. There's so many people in the world, bro. And it's like, your market should always just be your market. Yeah. You don't have to keep everything a secret.
So is it until when you got into Zest Fest, you saw that love?
I saw that love, bro.
But before that, you weren't seeing it. No. Why? People want...
I just think, generally, we think like we have to do everything by ourselves and succeed by ourselves. Yeah. That doesn't happen. That's not even reality to me, because you look at so many different cultures, everybody works together. Yeah. Black people just don't work together. I don't know why. They feel like, oh, I just gotta, I got to do this by myself, show everybody I made it. You're supposed to make it together. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think if you're supposed to make it by yourself, I don't think God would have brought anybody else into the world.
Yeah. But, it's almost like, there's a difficulty of us trying to, and by us, like black people, working together when it comes to new ideas, because they want to be the only one. They want to be the king of the hill. Exactly. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're here to work together. Exactly. Help each other. But see, people don't really want to think about it. Like if you're starting what you're doing, people don't really want to push you up. They want to be able to pull you up. They want to be there first to pull you up. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. So basically, for me to help push Addy and push his brand and help lift him, I'm showing that I'm less than him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I never understood that, right? So like, I was in a gym one time, so I'm in another frat brother. Yeah. And he's like, oh man, you got a seasoned sauce business? I was like, yeah. He said, man, you better make sure your family's supporting you. Because you got to get their support in order, for you to grow. They invested. You know what I mean? I said, you know what? That's a cool way of looking at it. But I don't expect that. You know what I mean? Just because I just think like a lot of your friends you're gonna have some people that like support you off top. Because they're like, man, that's some great stuff. But at the same time, they're going to catch up when everybody else does. Yeah. Because I look at my numbers and I look at my clientele right now. It's like, it's surprising to me that majority of them, I don't even really know them.
Wow. Like complete strangers. So, but
But that makes me feel good though.
Yeah, I know. It means that you're making an impact.
Exactly. Yeah. And then nobody's telling me like, oh yeah, your stuff is good. And kind of like low-key like, yeah, I just supported that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see, your family and your friends, they're not your market. You know what I mean? Some people go into it thinking like, some people quit what they're doing, saying, well, my family, my friends didn't support me. It's not even for them. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you got to build outside of them. So I feel like people look at the whole friends and family. I did look like with the car wash, majority of them, like, look, I could barely afford my own car wash. You see what I'm saying? So for me to think that everyone, my friends and family, are just going to come in just to support, I want you to be able to do something that you could do regularly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was never ever in a position where I felt like I need to beg or like, try to convince somebody to come in and support my business because like it's already built in that I need to get customers. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to say, I mean, if y'all don't support me, then I'm down and out. You know what I mean? So I'm already knocking on doors, doing what I need to. So, but that for you was important for you to get to where you're at right now, right?
Oh, yeah. Because like one of the things that like don't get me wrong, it's great to have like family and friend support, and I got that.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie, I got that. Like as soon as we like launched, we got tons of support. You know what I mean? And that
you'll never be new again. That's probably why. Yeah,
that too. But then when I see somebody I don't know from like a different state, like I'm like, oh yeah. I feel like I'm making progress at that point in time. You know what I mean? Like, dang, this is dope. Like I don't know this person. I'm like yelling on, hey, you know who this is? No. And then, once that started kind of rolling in, I'm like, all right, we getting somewhere here now. You know what I mean? And just to me, I think that's the best feeling ever because you feel like you actually put out a quality product.
That's wild that, you don't know if it's based on referral or what type of impression it is, but someone in another state purchased it without you literally doing the up talk and doing all that whole. Exactly. So it's almost eerie. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how they hear about it, how they know, like True. What do they think? You know what I mean? And I remember that's how like Airbnb when they started, they used to Instagram actually. When Instagram started, they would go to people and help them take pictures. What? To get, like it to that level. You know what I mean? No. This I feel like now I'm thinking it's Airbnb. Yeah, Airbnb, people were taking pictures of their homes to try to put it on Airbnb when they first started it. Yeah. But they weren't taking it they weren't taking the pictures very well. The owners, they're taking
like a motel space.
Yeah, no, they'll take that. When you're saying, okay, I'm gonna rent out my space, they'll take these pictures with their phone. It didn't look very good. Dark. Yeah, so they would go out themselves because one of the founders of Airbnb was a photographer. Oh, yeah. Nice. So he would go out over there taking pictures, and they said once they started taking pictures properly of people's properties, boom, it skyrocketed. Nice. Yeah, and it started just rolling. But thing is that they started off with people just doing it on their own, and they said we got to get in here and figure out what's wrong. And they figured out that a lot of it is that it has to look appealing, has to look a certain way for it to spread. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of that probably has to do with like your branding. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if I feel like that's a lot of it. You know what I mean? Because how else did it spread? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that. And then I've even started finding out stuff. You know what the insurance person told me?
Which one?
I have travelers. So it's like, I just have to ask this question. The photos on your website, are they stock photos? I'm like, no, I cooked them. And he's like, oh, you cooked that? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, I mean, I can't, because one of the things I'm aware of, like that I pay attention to is I don't like to sell anything. Yeah. That like if you made it yourself, just like this doesn't look like the picture.
Yeah, you want it to be authentic.
Authentic. Mm-hmm. If you follow the directions, there's one thing you got to follow the directions. It should come out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just looking like the picture.
So since you've started, now we're going into 2020. Yep. On February, what are the struggles that you had to overcome?
Man, just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't, right? So we were taking, somebody even told me this, which I thought was like crazy. They were like, yeah, if your picture looks too good, it just look like people are not drawn to it. And I'm like, what? But to me, I look at it.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Tell me more.
So like when you look at if it looks like a regular person couldn't do that, then it's not. It looks like stock photos. Okay, right? Somebody actually told me that, and I was like, "Yeah, but they're not stock photos." Yeah, we just know a little bit about photography and lighting. That you get good pictures off of lighting. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I always thought that was kind of weird, and then I started noticing it too. And we were doing like ads, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I'm like, man, we just wasting money.
Hey, bro,
straight up, we just wasting money. Because the videos get you way more, impressions than the...
What's an impression so people understand?
How many people actually get a chance to see that?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
it's not people who click and interact with your ad. It's people who sometimes they just scroll right past it. That's an impression. They saw it, your brand, it just flashed to them. Yep. Okay, yeah, so yeah.
So then we started kind of like looking at each other, my wife and I looking at each other like, man, it's not working. Like, what do we need to do? Then we start questioning what platforms work well for the business itself. And I think half the time, most people like Instagram is the only way.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, Pinterest is probably my way to go, and YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not really IG, because you have to be looking for those things, right?
Yeah.
So like if I'm on IG, we just scrolling through what's going on. You may see some good food and be like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking for something to cook, go to Pinterest, what they got. You're going to be like, man, I want this black bean burger. You put in black bean burger. Everything's going to pop up for that specific thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, am I even using the right platform?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't ask those questions and just go, this is the platform to use.
Mm-hmm.
It's knowing what your brand is and what's going to work for you. And I actually saw a difference between us just taking pictures and me demonstrating, how to make something. And I think it was when I made the pretzels.
Yeah.
Right before the holiday, I was like, wait a second.
So explain that real quick, how you made the pretzels. So what'd you do?
Oh, man, I just took some clarified butter. Mm-hmm. And clarified butter is like when you take regular butter and skim off the fat off the top. Now you get the oils, right? Mm-hmm. Took that, added it to my pretzels with my jalapeno ranch seasoning, tossed it, threw it in the oven at like 250, and that was it. It was just a simple video, right? And I felt that I got more interaction off that simple video than it took for me to cook a big old spread and take pictures of what was the
difference? What was the difference?
I just got more interaction as far as like views. You know what I mean?
No, what do you think? Why do you think you got more on that one than the other one?
I think it's interactive versus like it's just a regular picture, because anybody can take a picture and post something up there. And you're like, oh, that looks good. And you just kind of just go. Yeah. But if you're given an instruction on how to do something, I may be curious to see like, oh, you making pretzels? Oh, shoot, how you making those pretzels? Or the wings I just posted. You know what I mean? Like that was an easy recipe. You know what I mean? And everybody likes wings. Yeah. And one of the things that I kind of like about some of my stuff is like when you go like Wingstop, I like Wingstop. I just can't take the amount of salt they got in it, bro. Like this is a lot. Like you don't get the flavor out of it, you get salt. So, with that type of stuff is like it's not bad for you, but it's still good at the same time. You know what I mean? So like you feel a little bit better about eating some jalapeno ranch with some ranch dressing that you made with it. You know what I mean?
So one of your main struggles was like finding what worked better for your brand.
Exactly.
And you found out that Instagram and Facebook, even though those could be helpful,
it could be,
weren't where you felt the place for your brand.
Yeah. Not at this point in time. I think Facebook, once you create that big community, I think it works then. Mm-hmm. But if you're just running ads and they're like, you could boost this for like an extra $20, don't do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like figure out exactly what's going to work for you. Yeah. And then go that route.
So, wow, that was really informative. So where do you see, like, what are the goals that you have next? Like the things that I wouldn't say tell us everything you're about to drop. Yeah. But like, where do you see the next moves for Addy Daddy?
Man, it's just getting a whole bunch of people's households, you know what I mean? And giving them the opportunity to be able to try the flavors that I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So I think it's one thing that, and here's where I think I messed up. Yeah. I put the product out there without telling people how to use it. Yeah. And that's what I'm learning now as far as like dropping these videos, because there's tons of guys that are out there, man. They're like, oh man, I can't make that. Man, cooking is easy. Mm-hmm. Like it literally is. If you know how to follow directions as far as time, and you have the right seasoning and the right amount, you're golden. Yeah. And I think, with the age, with the time that we're in now, everybody's so busy. Mm-hmm. And that's why I specifically went to blends. Yeah. Because I can just take one thing and just say, you know what, I feel like doing it.
What do you mean blends when you say that?
So each one is a blend. Yeah. Because it has so many different herbs and spices in it, right? So you take that and you just say, you know what, I feel like making just a healthy meal today, and I want it to be veggies and chicken. Yeah. I can just take that everything season and just say, this is what I'm putting on there, cook it, and I'm done. And I got a flavorful meal and just go about my day. You know what I mean?
So it's not like blend versus, is there another word that you use for a non-blend or something like that?
All I have is blends right now.
Oh, okay.
So it's just blending all of them together. Eventually we'll probably have some like different types of salts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you can have, and just like your basics with salt and pepper and stuff like that. But right now, it's just the blends.
Okay.
So that was really just made just so like for busy people, definitely moms.
Yeah.
Working professionals, they just don't have that much time. And then, man, you still learn how to cook. And you want to, make that meal for Bay. You know what I mean?
I already know.
Hey, you gotta lock up that ring. You know what I'm
saying? so as far as like the next steps, you're gonna continue learning and figure out how to get in more people's households.
Definitely, and I think the videos are definitely gonna be a major play in it, right? So just showing people how to use the product.
Do people when they use your product, or when you have like, let's say like the sample? I know one time you did like Chex Mix, and then another time you do pretzels. Do they want to buy that?
Yes.
How often is it?
Every time.
Is it that you feel like maybe that should be?
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna drop that too.
That's interesting because you just did that for a taste test, and now they're saying I want this.
Exactly. Actually, so I did it. I started off as like a appreciation, right? So my insurance group, JR Insurance, and Ephraim CPA, just send it to them because I work with them. Personally, and they helped me with my business. So it was like, hey, thank you. Definitely like a Christmas package sent to them, right? And tested it out first at work. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, what do y'all think of this, right?
And which is this? This is the Chex Mix?
The Chex Mix and the pretzels.
Okay.
So one of my coworkers sends me an email. How can I buy this?
Yeah.
Like, you want to buy it? I don't sell it. I sell the seasoning though. And
see how business works, bro?
Bro.
Man.
Then we get to, Zest Fest. I want to buy it. Can we buy this?
Yeah.
I'm like, not yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
By the end of the weekend, I'm like, man, I got to do this now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many people you felt of who tasted it?
They all loved it.
How many people do you think?
I don't even know. There was so many people at that.
Man, like in the hundreds. As far as
thousands.
people trying this.
Because it was like, I think the numbers came out, it was like 15,000 people that were there.
So you feel like it was like, oh, this is a market, like to do this, like this. Wow. So, cool. So that's something to look forward to. So is there anything that we should look out for? Anything you want to kind of mention to, for anybody who's interested in like buying, like where do they go?
Oh, they just go to my website, AddydaddySeasonings.com. I'm definitely coming out with another flavor, man.
Yeah.
And I've tested it out
already.
You ready? Oh yeah. It's gonna be nice. And I think what I try to do is mix it up, right? Mm-hmm. And I think what I stress so much is balance, right? And moderation of everything. So some of my blends, they do have sugar, absolutely. Because I don't think it's bad. I think it's the amount that we consume that's bad. Is salt bad? No, it's the amount that we consume that's bad.
Yeah.
Is meat bad? No, it's the amount that we consume. So it's me being able to give all those different, platforms, but have it balanced out to where if you need a little bit more salt, you can add a little bit more salt. But if you're trying to control and watch, how you're eating and you're trying to hit those fit goals for the summertime, we got something for you.
So, you mentioned a key word right there, like balance.
Yeah.
And you have two boys, you're married, a 9-to-5, work in finance and a business. How do you balance? Like, how do you keep everything going?
It's so hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
That's one of my 2020 goals of like trying to find a way to balance it and just actually even reaching out to business owners, man. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing it for such a long time. Like, how do you do it? You know what I mean?
What makes it hard? What makes it hard?
When you're, for me personally, I'm invested in this product and what I want it to be. You know what I mean? So like anything that I get into, like I go 150%.
Yeah, very passionate about.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, do I go read them a book right now? Or I got to get this done because I got this coming up or this coming up. And I just started seeing the priorities because now I'm invested in it. At the same time, I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to grow something for my kids to take over, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking to myself, like, I'm doing it for them. But then the whole Kobe thing happened, and I'm like, crap, man. What if I'm not here tomorrow?
Yeah.
But I don't spend that time with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just
that's hard, bro. Because you think that sacrifices. Because I have two boys too, and the sacrifice you have to make to try to make things, to try to make things work. But then also understanding that, like, I even mentioned this last episode about you are your choices. You know what I mean? And trying to make a choice between two things that are equally important. That's a hell of a dilemma. You know what I mean?
It is.
And even though you have to balance that out, because you can't always have it one way, or always have the other way. You have to balance that out. But the way I've helped myself as far as like balancing, is about being like present. You know what I mean? And I talk about that so much because before, I would always think about what's happening next. Yeah. And what I feel needs to happen. So I was never really here. You know what I mean?
That's how I am.
That's how you are, right? And took that part out to where I'm like, okay, stop thinking about what's next. Think about what's happening right now. And that's when things started to change because I started to see things in a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like things that are right in front of me versus, because think about it, if you're thinking about what's next, you're not paying attention to what's right in front of you.
True.
And that's a balance too. You gotta also think what's happening next and then what's happening right in front of you, just to kind of like make things work, because not everyone's gonna tell you they got a problem with what you're doing. You know what I mean? So you got to be aware. You got to be self-aware so you could kind of like prevent it before, bro.
I suck at that. My wife's like, you're not self-aware. If somebody's like, you can kind of just tell like they're not ready to have a conversation. You just keep going. Like, yes, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, her thing too is, so a lot of people, I don't know if, do you even remember me working at Wells Fargo doing sales?
Yeah, a little bit, but how long were you there?
I got fired like after 6 months.
Yeah.
Only job I've ever been fired from.
Yeah.
And it was a mutual thing, kind of, right? So we had like...
You mutually got fired?
Mutually got fired. Because I told him, I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, help me get into a regular bank. So I was doing subprime.
Yes. Subprime mortgages.
Bro.
Wait, what year is this?
08. But the crazy thing about it is like, I can sell anything.
Yeah.
Right? But I realized that I can't sell anything that I'm not invested in, right? So I would just come in, bro. I don't even know if I told you the story. They had this guy that had he had a paid off truck, yellow truck. It was nice, F-150. Yeah. I said, man, I got him on the phone and started talking to him. It's like, man, I can get you some quick cash. He said, how you gonna do it? I said, man, we just refi your truck. Yeah. And he's like, oh, no. I said, just come on in and talk to me. Yeah. He came in, right? And everybody in the office is looking like, you gonna refi that truck? Yeah. We'll see. We walk into the room and we start talking and, he's like, yeah. It sounds like a great idea. I said, yeah. He said, what's the interest rate? I said, 19.99.
19.9.
19.99 on a paid off truck, right?
Yeah.
Just like, and he's like, oh, okay. All right. I said, all I need is your title. I can, cut the check right now. He's like, okay, I'll go get the title. And he leaves. And I start looking at the time. I'm like, man, he's been gone for a little second now, right? So I call him back. I said, hey, what are you doing? He said, I said, well, I'm waiting on you. The check is ready. He said, I'm thinking about going to my credit union. And in my mind, I'm like, that's what you should do, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, I gotta pay my rent.
Yeah. I already know.
And I'm like, just come on back in. I got this. And he finds a way to come back in. He signs it and goes. And then I'm just like, man, is this what I should be doing?
You feel good about that?
No, I didn't feel good about it. And then what topped it off was, the pressure of like, you got to go sell this. And I got this quota. And I'm like, all right. I had another lady come in. She just lost her husband. And she came in. She was like, really wanting it. I'm just like, God, I don't feel good about
selling. Wanted what, the refinance?
She wanted a refund. But here's the problem though, right? She had like a 2001 Suburban. Yeah. 196,000 miles on it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't going to last another year. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I felt bad because she needed it. And then I was like, I can't be doing this because I wouldn't sell this to my mom. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's like been my mentality. If I wouldn't sell it to my mom, I'm not selling it at all. Yeah.
So it felt like you weren't being real or you weren't being authentic. So you can't push something you don't believe in.
I can't.
Even if it made you good money, you still got to look at yourself.
Exactly. Because I don't think you can sell anything without being invested in it, right? Yeah. I use my own products. Yeah. If I wasn't using it, I wouldn't even.
Bro, I see that though. Else. I see people who sell things they don't even use.
Yeah.
You know, like when you go to a restaurant and you say, "Hey, have you tried the pork chop?" And he's like, "I don't need anything on the menu." It's like, then why are you even here? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need anything. Yeah, exactly. He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's good." I was like, how are you working here at a restaurant and you don't know nothing on the menu? You know?
But then you get the other people too. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's so amazing."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh shoot, let me try it. Like, this is trash. Why would you even suggest this to me?"
That's true. That's true. So, so what were we going with that? Because you're talking about you going out of financing because you worked at Wells Fargo. There's a reason we about that.
Just the fact of like just being able to deliver a product and feeling good about what product that you actually made.
Yeah.
I think it goes a long way
Mm-hmm.
if you believe in it yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So is there something like if you had an opportunity to talk to your younger self,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether it be a conversation, whether it be like some gems or some knowledge, what would you tell your younger self like today?
Today, stack your cash.
Stack your bread.
Straight up. Because there's opportunities. I feel
and by what you mean is like have a savings.
Have a good savings, yes.
Okay.
For opportunities.
Okay.
Right? So one of the things that I wish I did have was I missed out on so many different opportunities because I was more so worried about just enjoying, right?
Yeah.
And not being able and not doing both. I think you can still pop bottles every once in a while.
Yeah.
But not every weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when we went to Vegas,
Yeah.
that was a good time. Miami, that was a good time. I wouldn't do it every single time.
Yeah.
Just because you just throw money out. And
Yeah.
I just look at money a little bit differently now as more like a tool than anything.
That's real.
Like I ask myself, like, if I spend this money, what am I gonna get out of it?
Mm-hmm. That's how I look at money as the closest thing to magic, bro.
Straight up.
You know, anything can appear when you have that. And some people, I hear this a lot where they said, "I don't know how to save." Do you believe them?
No. Well, yes, I do.
Help me make it make sense.
A lot of it deals with how you grow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to get off track too. Because
Yeah.
I got off track in college.
Yeah.
Like when I was working at Domino's, I was only allowed to take out $20 out of my paycheck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I only had money for vending machines. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I saved a ton of that money. And then once I got to college and I wasn't able to get all those like loans and stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, Pell Grants,
Yeah.
I had to take a Parent Plus loan.
Yeah.
But thank goodness that I was saving that money, it was paying the Parent Plus loan.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So just that if you don't get the knowledge,
Yeah.
and I think that's what a lot of people are missing is just that knowledge of what money is.
Yeah. And how to use it.
How
and,
to use it.
Well, that's a lot. Well, I want to say I really appreciate you for coming on.
Oh man, thank you.
You
for
know,
inviting me, man.
yeah, you're my first outside of family, even though you are family guest, because this is my brother. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like my
sir.
little brother, and putting you on here so we could talk about kind of like the business behind what you do. I think, and I hope it helps people kind of make sense of how to not only start something but to run it. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy. But
It's enjoyable though.
yeah,
And you know what? When we talk about it, and the most joy that you get out of it is the process.
yeah,
The ups and downs.
Yeah.
Although you hate it when it's down.
you don't see it. Yeah,
But then whenever you see the positive, remember last year when we did this, I was like, man, I had these projections and it just didn't like come out to exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
They told me that we're going to be X amount of people there, and I factored this in. With me being a numbers guy,
Yeah.
I would naturally do that, right? So this year, kind of came in with no expectations and did way better than last year.
Mm-hmm.
And what I even forecasted even this year is like, oh, snap.
yeah,
This is great. But of course I used last year's data to kind of help me propel into what I was going to do this year.
Oh, I see.
Numbers are key.
Numbers are key.
Numbers are key.
So you would tell your younger self, make sure you stack your bread,
Yes.
have a savings, learn how to do all that, and use that for opportunities. And so having a cash reserve for opportunities.
Opportunities, yes.
Cool. Is there anything you want to kind of share with anybody before we kind of get off?
So
Yeah.
for that opportunities
Yeah.
piece, right? I started realizing, I think we touched on it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Partnerships are what we need.
Yeah.
because we look at Jay-Z, right, and how he made his money. He can do it by himself. He had partnerships. And don't feel that you have to do everything by yourself.
Yeah.
Because we tap into your network.
Yeah.
Because like for us, our network is pretty large.
Yeah. But how do you partner? You know what I mean? Like in a healthy way, because you want healthy partnerships.
Oh, definitely.
So how do you have a healthy partnership?
I think somebody that has the same viewpoints and long-term goals as you is key, right? Because you can easily say, you know, you can easily get money, right?
Yeah.
But the long-term aspects of actually keeping that money is what's important, right?
Yeah.
So having the same person that you're going to partner with and just knowing, hey, we're just not going to be dipping into this money.
Yeah.
This is for like growth. And then once we get to where we want to be at, we can get our money, dump it into other things, etc. But I think it's crucial at this point in time for all of us to start partnering up because everybody else does it.
Is that one of your main focuses? Because I see it. I know, man, we didn't even get to that, talking about like the other communities and seeing, you know, because the Asian community, they come together.
They're killing it, bro.
Yeah. The Indian community as well. You know, and it does, and these type of partnerships that help grow your community, it doesn't take hundreds of years. It doesn't take 3-4 generations, bro. You're talking about a couple of years.
Yes.
And just starting somewhere.
Just somewhere.
So that's what you're saying. So,
and then it's easier too, because one of the biggest things that we talk about is, oh, there's no capital. It's hard to get capital. But you get a group of people, the capital's there, right?
Yeah.
It's just how you have to play. There's no short-term anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to do a long-term play, and I've even seen some of our friends do it, and it's like, man, this is dope. And they're doing something else totally different on the side while still working together.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. And I see a lot in real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as people working together like that. But yeah, man. So is there any like plugs as far as what we already told people where to go for, you know, everything? And I really highly suggest that you try it. To me personally, it's, one of the best tasting not only seasonings but hot sauces that are out. So I would love to hear y'all's feedback on it. You know, tell me what y'all think. Let him know.
Oh yeah,
you know
definitely.
what I mean? But again, bro, I appreciate you for coming on.
Oh yeah.
And
my YouTube.
You said what?
I want them to go follow the YouTube.
What's your YouTube?
Addy Seasonings and Sauces.
So they just tap in Addy. So if they tap in Addy Daddies, will something pop out?
Oh yeah.
Or just so they don't need to do the whole Addy Daddy seasonings.
Oh, you know what? I don't think they have to. But I'm only
Daddy. Okay, so Addy Daddy. Is that one word, 2 words?
You can put it all together.
Okay, Addy Daddy.
Seasonings and Sauces.
Seasoning and sauces on YouTube.
On YouTube, on IG, the same thing.
Okay, so how often do you drop new things?
I am looking to drop once a week, I believe.
Okay, so people who subscribe could find something new probably on a weekly to a 2-week basis, but they're going to see something new.
They're going to see something new.
And this is about them, you know, not only how to use it, but like new recipes that involve what you have.
Yes.
That's cool.
And it's going to be solely focused on balance.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get some really good food and you get some healthy food.
Yeah. That's really great. Well, thank you for listening to St. Michael Podcast. We are done for today, and I love you. Peace out. And just remember, as a last note, if you wait long enough, you'll get your answer.